Man, what's going on, everybody? Swagged out, and you already know why I'm here. And today, I'm gonna put you on to a new summertime oud. Yes, an oud appropriate for the summer, regardless of whatever you heard about oud. It can't be done, and it has been done by this house right here, Phoenicia Parfums. And if you don't know Phoenicia and you don't know David Fallsberg, we're gonna talk a little bit about how I came to know this house. Number one, shout out to Josh from Essential Notes, who initially put me onto this fragrance right here. This is Summer Breeze, and Summer Breeze was the fragrance that really put me onto Phoenicia, period. And it's just taking amazing oud with amazing juicy fruity fragrances and putting it together and making this right here, which made it on my summer oud list. Now, obviously, you're not going to wear a summer oud based fragrance all year round, so a little goes a long way, especially with these because highly concentrated, and it really booms. Now from there, I found out about Ras Mood, which Dave was nice enough to send me a sample of, and this is a more chocolatey raspberry oud that just it leans heavily gourmand, and it did it so well that I was really impressed with that overall fragrance. But now it leads to the new one, and this in many ways, although it doesn't say it anywhere on the website, I feel like it's kind of a combination of the best parts of Ras Mood and Summer Breeze, and we'll talk about why here in a moment. So we'll start with the notes. So the notes here, you're gonna have bergamot, Sicilian lemon, bitter orange, peach, apple, pear, apricot, natural essence, spices, osmanthus, jasmine, Elemi, sandalwood, Laotian oud, non-smoky. It puts in parentheses, and that's really important, and I'll explain why in a moment for this particular fragrance. Aged cedar, roasted chocolate, pink pepper, musk, civet, Hyrax, like just a good blend of animalic notes, fruity notes, obviously a wonderful oud, and then chocolate that makes an appearance, and it makes an amazing appearance because it definitely helps this fragrance overall and how it's going to behave on skin. So let's put it on skin and take this for a test drive. Now, this is not my first time wearing it. I have to know what to expect, and this is why this pops right here. That lemon in the opening is beautiful. I'm not a super citrusy person, but the way the lemon is really putting itself ahead of everything else, and I say that because you will immediately get that juicy fruit. You are going to get that apricot, that pear, that apple, very similar to how it happens in Summer Breeze, which is why I brought it up. But then as the fragrance starts to dry down, and keep in mind, once it opens and you get that fruity blast, in the background, you're going to get a very well-behaved oud. So we go back to the fact that the Laotian oud they use here is not smoky. Not only is it not smoky, it's not skanky, it's not barnyardy, it's none of the offensive things. When you smell it, you absolutely know that's oud. But you're not thinking to yourself, this is the oud I can never wear. Or at least I'm not thinking that to myself. And I get it. There's a lot of times where when you're new to oud, you got to slowly get in there. Well, I think this is a really appropriate fragrance to do so, especially with all those juicy fruits that you're going to get up top, that really bright Sicilian lemon that carries a lot of the fragrance in the opening, and that very tamed oud, which you get to experience some beautiful oud without feeling choked out by it. As the fragrance starts to die down, those fruits do pick up even more. The oud is going to turn more of a heavy woody base, more than just a traditional loud oud on skin. And as that starts to happen, that chocolate really picks up a little more too. And what you have lastly is a lightly woody chocolate base with a lot of nice heavy fruits on top of it. The top notes and the mid notes stay throughout the wear of the fragrance for a very long time. So it's not like you're going to start losing layers of the fragrance and get stuck with all these animalic oudi notes at the base. No, you get a lot of that juicy, fruity, semi-chocolatey, nice woody wear throughout the entire wear. And this does last hours. Now, my only disclaimer for anybody who's not familiar with the House of Phoenicia is that, look, if you know perfumers like Russian Adam, you know perfumers like Dmitry Bortnikov, these perfumers who use a lot of naturals and often very expensive ingredients to create their fragrances. Well, Phoenicia is no different. I mean, I say within my own group's friends that I look at Dave as like our American version of those types of perfumers. deals heavily in naturals, likes to experiment a lot of oud, a lot of those stronger natural that a lot of people don't wear on a day-to-day basis, but he puts them together in such an elegant way, and they're ultimately super useful. And especially when you're talking about fragrances like Santa Ana Sucre, which is what we have right here, you can't go wrong. Like he really stepped it up with this one. I thought Summer Breeze was amazing, but it definitely does have a stronger oud that for some people may be too much. And I think with Santa Ana Sucre, he hit on the head. This is a beginner level oud in terms of it doesn't offend upon that first sniff, and you're not going to be immediately turned off, but it's so there, so on skin, so noticeable that you know I have a really good oud on. This blended well with all these other facets of fruits, chocolate, florals, and it makes an amazing, bright, beautiful oud fragrance, which almost sounds like it doesn't go, but it does. So this is it, man. Santa Ana Sucre. You can check it out on Phoenicia's website. I put some information on the bottom. Price point, just in case y'all interested. Again, a lot of naturals, so you're not dealing with your department store countertop sizes or prices. So here, for a 15 ml of this particular fragrance is $75. For 30 ml is $135. Some of you may be looking at this saying, that's not for me. And the reality is that if you said that in your heart, you mean that. It's not for you. There's other stuff, for sure. But if you are a collector, if you love everything you heard here, and you have $135 for your 30 ml, I absolutely suggest you try this, especially if you try the other stuff from Phoenicia and you like to dabble in those ouds and those naturals. This is one you need to check out. That's really all I have for you folks. Hopefully like the content. If you haven't heard about it before and it sounds interesting, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about this fragrance or anything else on the line of Phoenicia or anything about the house, feel free to leave comments. And if you are watching this content and you still are not following, you absolutely should, because we can come back with more fragrances. Maybe you might find your next favorite fragrances or the next thing you want to talk crazy about in the comment section, which I'm all about. Bring all that smoke. I'll keep that energy on my side as well. But that's all I have for you folks. Thank you very much for watching. It's fragged out, swagged out, and we out.